Former U.S. President Donald Trump has been charged with attempting to overturn his 2020 election loss in the state of Georgia. Let's take a listen then to what Fulton County District Attorney Willis said a short time ago. He and 18 others have been indicted on counts that include racketeering in a 41-charge document issued by Fulton County Grand Jury. The former president is facing 13 counts including racketeering solicitation, a violation of oath by a public officer, and conspiracy. The list of defendants indicted late on Monday night includes former Trump lawyer Rudy Giuliani, former White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows, former White House lawyer John Eastman, and former Justice Department official Jeffrey Clark. The charge sheet refers to the defendants as a criminal organization. The indictment document says Mr. Trump knowingly and willingly joined a conspiracy to unlawfully change the outcome of the election in Georgia and elsewhere. The indictment marks the fourth time Mr. Trump has been criminally charged this year. The indictment alleges that rather than abide by Georgia's legal process for election challenges, the defendants engaged in a criminal racketeering enterprise to overturn Georgia's presidential election result. Subsequent to the indictment, as is the normal process in Georgia law, the grand jury issued arrest warrants for those who are charged. I am giving the defendants the opportunity to voluntarily surrender no later than noon on Friday the 25th day of August 2023. The grand jury investigation into Mr. Trump was sparked by that infamous January 2020 phone call between the president and Georgia's Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger. Here's a little of what Mr. Trump said during that call. So look, 11,780 votes, which is one more that we have because we won the state. Aside from the phone call that we were listening to there with Mr. Raffensperger, Mr. Trump is also accused of pressuring lawmakers. Mr. Trump's team told them they had the power to decertify the state's electoral college results. He allegedly coordinated schemes to have fake members of the electoral college cast their votes for Mr. Trump in Georgia. Joe Biden won the state of Georgia. Mr. Trump's campaign lawyers reportedly worked with a data firm to copy sensitive data from election systems in a Georgian county. The most serious charge is violating the Racketeering Influenced and Corruption Organizations Act, punishable by a maximum of 20 years in prison. The act is designed to help take down organized criminal syndicates like the mafia. Former President Trump denies all the charges. The campaign issued a statement claiming the charges are taking away Trump's First Amendment right to free speech and the right to challenge a rigged and stolen election. The statement also accuses the Democrats of creating the corruption. Donald Trump faces 13 felony charges and a total of 41 charges, including racketeering laws. There is overlap with a separate federal case in Washington, D.C. where Trump has already been charged with attempting to cheat the election. The Georgia case focuses on a call on January 2, 2021, where Trump asked Georgia's top lawmaker to find 11,780 votes. Trump describes the call as a perfect telephone call, but the prosecutor disagrees. Trump repeats his claim that they've had 2 prosecutions and disagrees with the charges. A half year is to investigate this, and he's questioning the timing given the proximity to the election. In terms of time scale, it talks about what happens now. What can we expect? How long might this take to play out? Well, that's an interesting question. Doing a bit of digging into local Georgia laws, ordinarily you'd expect what's known as the arraignment. That's the first appearance, the start if you like, of the criminal trial process. That would normally happen within a few days ordinarily. Now the prosecutor in this case has said that she's giving the 19 defendants until midday local time on Friday to voluntarily surrender. But in Donald Trump's case, certainly, he is a Secret Service protector. That means that the Secret Service and local law enforcement have to discuss that timing. More is going to become clear over the next 12 to 24 hours. In terms of the timing of the trial, the prosecution say that they will ask whether it's possible to bring this to trial within the next 6 months. But you see, what would be likely to happen as with the other cases is that Mr. Trump's attorneys would say, well, hang on a minute. We've got 2.5 years worth of investigations. The grand jury have interviewed 75 witnesses. The evidence in this case is enormous. We need time to look into that. Now, of course, from the prosecution's perspective, getting this out of the way quite quickly would have advantages. He's facing trials in other cases in March in New York over allegations that he used his business to hide payments to a porn star. In May, he's going on trial in Florida over the classified documents retention case on espionage and obstruction charges. No dates yet been set for the federal case that's being prosecuted in Washington, D.C. under Special Prosecutor Jack Smith. But that's the case that has the closest relation to this case in Georgia. One of the points that some people are making, of course, and again I feel they're probably getting slightly ahead of themselves to a great point, we don't know what the results will be. Everybody's presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. But of course, on federal convictions, if hypothetically they happened, it would be within the power of an elected president to pardon themselves, whereas with state cases, they can't do that.